Shalom, my friends, this is Max Joseph, and I'm here because it is the first day of November, which means it is time for the predictions. This was started a couple months ago, but to give a rundown, the predictions will be a video that'll be released on the first of every month and will feature my predictions for the upcoming Academy Awards. Each category will feature the maximum number of nominees possible, with additional few that are the next in line, and then I'll also include the big snub that should make it. I won't get into detail about every single pick because then the video would be 9 hours long, so I'll always talk about my pick to win and then some other highlights on the list. And so, here are my predictions for the 2020 Oscars, November edition. Best Picture. First things first. This is the best year of cinema in the last 2 decades. Hit after hit, blockbuster after blockbuster, we are witnessing something truly special this year. And in the Oscar race for Best Picture, anything can happen at this point, but I do think we officially have our top 5 films for picture and director. I think we'll all be going back and forth with them, and for now, I'm giving it to Irishman, because I think that is the very safe bet. A Tarantino film has never won Best Picture, so Once Upon a Time it feels kind of dicey to me. Parasite is a hard sell because no international film has ever won Best Picture, even though maybe it should. 1917 needs a screening to get the first reactions, because if it's that good, it could run away with the entire night. And with Marriage Story, I don't think it'll get enough #1 votes on a ballot. So, to be safe, Scorsese, De Niro, Pacino, Pesci, it just makes sense. Plus, the reviews are spectacular and has been called Scorsese's best since Goodfellas. And if that really is the case, Irishman is going to win a lot of gold on Sunday, February 9th. Next in line in order are Ford v Ferrari, The Farewell, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Just Mercy, Joker. The big snub that should make it, Rocket Man. And my argument for this is quite simple. If Bohemian Rhapsody was nominated, this should easily be nominated. I'm part of the world who really likes Bohemian Rhapsody, but I would argue that as a picture, head to toe, Rocket Man was probably a better film, and it was just released way too early. Best Director. I think this is just what it's gonna be. Unless Parasite has a big night and wins original screenplay, I think Scorsese is on his way to a second Oscar. Although, I'm really hoping that Lulu Wang or Taika Waititi can sneak into that 5 spot. We'll see. Next in line in order are Taika Waititi, Jojo Rabbit, Lulu Wang, The Farewell, Greta Gerwig, Little Women, Marielle Heller, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Fernando Meirelles, The Two Popes. The big snub that should make it, Olivia Wilde, Booksmart. I still can't change this pick. It was her directorial debut and she gave us this? I not only think she should be nominated, but I want her to win. I would give her my vote with a big ol' smile on my face. But it's just not gonna happen. Actress in a leading role. What a category. The level of brilliance in one category is infuriating. So I'm just constantly going back and forth between ScarJo, Zellweger, and Charlize Theron, and right now, I think that ScarJo is gonna take it. And one of the biggest reasons for this is because Zellweger won an Oscar in 2003 for Cold Mountain and was nominated 2 other times before that one. Charlize Theron won in 2004 and was nominated again in 2006. ScarJo has never once been nominated for an Oscar. Ever. Which is crazy to me considering her body of work. And she has also had one of the best years of anyone working today between Avengers, Jojo Rabbit, and now Marriage Story. She is making 2019 the best and most impressive of her career. But I don't blame you if you decide to go for the other 2 here. Next in line in order are Alfre Woodard, Clemency, Cynthia Erivo, Harriet, Jodie Turner-Smith, Queen and Slim, Felicity Jones, The Aeronauts, Lupita Nyong'o, Us. The big snub that should make it, Constance Wu, Hustlers. Am I the only one who thought she was remarkable in this? Like, yes, JLo was amazing, but I thought Wu was maybe better? I need more of her in my life in general. So good. Actor in a leading role. Just like last month, I have Driver taking it, but I am very close to having Price do a complete sweep this season. He's the veteran, he's never been nominated, and he is universally loved in this film so far, so he may be very quickly moving up on this list. And for everyone who is saying Phoenix or bust, he is not out of this race. Let me be clear, if the Academy decides to rally behind him, and more importantly, the film itself, he's got it. He gave one of the best performances of recent memory, in my book. But I think most Academy members are going to go for Driver or Price, even DiCaprio in the end. Also, if Eddie Murphy gets this nomination for Dolomite Is My Name, that might be the best day of my life. He was so good and so funny, and it would be an awesome comeback story for him. Next in line in order are Robert De Niro, The Irishman, Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory, Taron Egerton, Rocketman, Michael B. Jordan, Just Mercy, Mark Ruffalo, Dark Waters. The big snub that should make it, Roman Griffin Davis, Jojo Rabbit. There's zero reason he shouldn't be nominated here when he gave one of the best performances of the year. Yeah, he's 11. But if we are looking at who gave the best performance of the year, disregarding age and whether it's their time or not, Davis deserves to be in this conversation. Actress in a supporting role. First of all, I am so excited that A24 is officially going ahead with Zhao Shushen for actress in a supporting role. She deserves it, and she deserves the money that will go into campaigning her. Second, first reviews are out on Greta Gerwig's latest Little Women, and people are saying that Florence Pugh was a standout, and duh, she's actual perfection. She started the year with Fighting With My Family, then gave probably one of the best performances I've seen this decade in Midsommar, which also earned her a Gotham nomination, and now, Little Women. Third, until proven otherwise, I am giving Dern her first win. But here's the thing. If Bombshell starts to gain the momentum it seems to be getting, you could see a win for Margot Robbie, which is crazy, because there's a chance she could be nominated for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's a small chance, but the fact that she has 2 supporting roles that will be considered is pretty amazing. Next in line in order are Annette Bening, The Report, Maggie Smith, Downton Abbey, Thomasin McKenzie, Jojo Rabbit, Nicole Kidman, Bombshell, Margot Robbie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The big snub that should make it, Scarlett Johansson, Jojo Rabbit. There's also a small chance that this could happen, that we could see the 12th actor to ever be nominated for 2 Oscars for the same year. Doubtful, but possible. Actor in a supporting role. If you want to put your money on one acting category this year, I think this is the one to do it. There seems to be nothing anyone can do that will stop Pitt from getting this. Like, if Tom Hanks can't start to gain momentum from being Mr. Rogers, nobody can. So, besides international film, this is the most confident I feel about a category as of today, November 1st. But we'll see what happens once Irishman and A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood come out this month. Next in line in order are Wesley Snipes, Dolomite Is My Name, John Lithgow, Bombshell, Anthony Hopkins, The Two Popes, Alan Alda, Marriage Story, Song Kang-ho, Parasite. The big snub that should make it, Shia LaBeouf, Honey Boy. This man made me weep in the theater, and my friends, it is his best performance ever. Original screenplay. I love this category. It is stacked and will be an absolute bloodbath. And I'm giving it to the heartbreaking script that Baumbach wrote, which will earn him his first Oscar. The thing is, with all these potential wins for Marriage Story, it's hard not to give it Best Picture. And for that reason, don't count out Tarantino, who's already won this award twice, or Parasite and Farewell for that matter, which both had 2 of the best reviewed and loved stories this year. And be on the lookout for the middle of this month when Queen and Slim premieres at AFI Fest, because it's gonna knock everyone out. Next in line in order are 1917, Booksmart, Bombshell, Knives Out, Ford v. Ferrari. The big snub that should make it, Us. I will not be changing my pick from last month because that is how much this should be nominated. Adapted screenplay. I've talked about it before. I think that this will be the way that the Academy decides to award Jojo Rabbit. And it'll be the only award that it gets that night, which is a travesty. And it could be the same if it ends up being The Two Popes. If it is either of these 2, it'll probably be the only win it gets. If Irishman manages to win screenplay, it's gonna win everything. And I mean, like, everything. But in the end, it'll probably be a battle between Jojo and Two Popes. Next in line in order are Just Mercy, Joker, Judy, Dark Waters, Hustlers. The big snub that should make it, Avengers Endgame. told in 3 acts, each act told perfectly and made you feel all the feels. I would put it in there. Animated feature. One of my favorite categories of the year. So I think it's just gonna be Toy Story 4 versus Frozen 2. I don't think anything else really has a chance, but this is always the case. In nearly every year since the 74th Academy Awards in 2001, when the animated feature Oscar was introduced, it's either been Disney versus something or Pixar versus something. And this year, it's Disney versus Pixar. And I am so sad that the How to Train Your Dragon franchise will never win an Oscar. It's so upsetting because all 3 of them are fantastic. But each year, there's just always seems to be something a little bit better. I honestly wouldn't be opposed if the Academy just decided to say, you know what? Let's give it to them. Next in line in order are I Lost My Body, Oko's Inn, Shaun the Sheep, Farmageddon, The Secret Life of Pets 2, The Lego Movie 2, the second part. The big snub that should make it, Wonder Park. I highly recommend this movie. I went in expecting just a nice, cute popcorn flick. I ended up crying very hard instead. Check it out. Cinematography. I do believe Deakins has got this for 1917. He will earn his 15th nomination and 2nd win. For sure get nominated. But you also have The Irishman's Rodrigo Prieto coming for that spot. He's been nominated twice. His first was in 2005 for Brokeback Mountain, and the second was in another Scorsese film, Silence, in 2016. I have this feeling that for a lot of these categories, you're going to find 1917, Irishman, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in most of them. And it might end up being a Mad Max Fury Road kind of night where one of these 3 films just destroys the competition and takes home everything. But the difference might be that they end up winning Best Picture. Next in line in order are Ad Astra, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Jojo Rabbit, The Two Popes, Marriage Story. The big snub that should make it, Us. Look at these shots. Look at them. The world doesn't understand or appreciate how good this was. Production design. I mean, the production for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is astonishing. Barbara Lang managed to go back 50 years and show us Hollywood Boulevard and the Manson Ranch, which was frickin' horrifying and the stuff of nightmares. And as someone who didn't get to experience the golden age of old Hollywood, I immediately felt transported, and I'm sure the voters that were around during that time really liked it. Next in line in order are Parasite, Cats, Ad Astra, Little Women, Downton Abbey. The big snub that should make it, Judy. For the most part, I was mixed on this film, but one thing I came out of the theater, besides saying that Zellweger was amazing, was that the production design is one of the best of the year. Beautiful. Costume design. So, the Academy loves period pieces. You rarely see a film win this award for something that takes place in 2019. The closest the Academy came was actually last year when they gave it to the very well-deserved Ruth E. Carter for Black Panther. But specifically, what does the Academy love? Old Hollywood. And that is exactly what you got with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And when it came out, that was a pretty universal feeling. Next in line in order are Jojo Rabbit, 1917, Rocket Man, Judy, The Aeronauts. The big snub that should make it, Aladdin. It got so much heat from critics, but I thought it really was a beautiful film to look at, especially in the costume department. Even if you hated the film, those costumes are gorgeous and were some of the best of the year, and I don't want to hear otherwise. Thank you. Film editing. This is a very exciting category because it really could go to anyone at this point. But we have a car movie, and sometimes the best editing is the most editing. And whether or not Ford v Ferrari deserves it, a race car movie is going to have a lot of editing. And if Fox campaigns the out of it, it could do really well this season, mainly in these tech categories. Next in line in order are Jojo Rabbit, Parasite, The Aeronauts, Richard Jewell, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. The big snub that should make it, Avengers Endgame. If Mad Max Fury Road can win this, so can Avengers Endgame. But alas, it shall not. Makeup and hairstyling. Now that we have all seen what this team did to Charlize Theron, Nicole Kidman, and John Lithgow, I think it's impossible to ignore. They love a good fat suit, and a Nicole Kidman wig. I'm close to calling this a shoo-in, like I have with supporting actor and international film, but I'm going to marinate on it a little bit more, unless the Academy just decides to give Irishman everything, which again, is very possible. The next closest nominee would be Judy, who I must say, mazel tov to the team at Judy, who at times I could have sworn they brought back Judy Garland. That is how convincing they made Zellweger look. Gorgeous. Next in line in order are Joker, Downton Abbey, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, Rocket Man, Us. The big snub that should make it, It, Chapter 2. Sound editing. Spoiler alert, I think 1917 will take both sound categories. The Academy loves war movies, and with something as big as 1917, it's going to be hard to ignore. But it'll be closely followed by Ford v Ferrari. Gotta love a good race car movie. Next in line in order are The Irishman, Joker, Rocket Man, The Aeronauts, Avengers Endgame. The big snub that should make it, Gemini Man. One of those situations where the movie itself wasn't the best, but the sound design? Sound mixing. Same deal as the editing. I think this is going to be a year where whichever film wins one will win the other, as it was the last 2 years with Bohemian Rhapsody and Dunkirk both taking each sound award. In fact, in the last decade, it was only in 2012, 14, and 16 when one film didn't take both sound categories. And because this is arguably the biggest war film since Dunkirk, I think it has it in the bag. Next in line in order are Cats, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, Joker, The Aeronauts, Avengers Endgame. The big snub that should make it, Yesterday. A movie musical can either have really good sound mixing or really bad. The very underrated Yesterday was mixed very well. Visual effects. I must say, I cannot figure out for the life of me how Marvel has not yet won this award. It is actually baffling to me. And I think it's going to continue because Star Wars will take it. It's already won the award 3 times for the original trilogy, nominated for Force Awakens and Last Jedi. Am I okay with this? Yeah, I mean, that trailer they just released looked pretty unreal. And based on that alone, it may even be more visually spectacular than the final battle in Avengers Endgame. We'll find out. Next in line in order are Ad Astra, Gemini Man, 1917, Cats, Alita, Battle Angel. The big snub that should make it, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Although I didn't like the movie, visuals were unbelievable. So if you haven't seen it, but want to see some giant monsters go at it, it's pretty awesome looking. Original score. What a bunch of heavy hitters. You have the 14-time nominee Thomas Newman for 1917, and then my favorite composer of all time, John Williams for Star Wars, who already has 5 wins and a grand total of 51 nominations, which is the second most of a single human behind Mr. Walt Disney himself at 59. And I'm of 2 minds here. Do you give it to the Thomas Newman who has never won? Or do you make a full circle moment and give it to John Williams, who won it in 1977 for the very first Star Wars? I don't know. It's heads or tails for me. You can't go wrong, but whether or not he wins, you can guarantee John Williams will be nominated, as he previously was for Force Awakens and Last Jedi. Next in line in order are The Farewell, A Hidden Life, Jojo Rabbit, Harriet, Ad Astra. The big snub that should make it, The Last Black Man in San Francisco, arguably the best score of this season. And this is the most upsetting thing that I have to accept this year, that The Last Black Man in San Francisco won't be nominated for a single Oscar, when it deserves a good 7 or 8 nominations and at least a couple wins. Original song. It looks like the unstoppable power couple of Robert Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez are about to add a 3rd Oscar to their collection. Robert Lopez is already the first ever double EGOT winner, and he may be on his way to becoming a triple EGOT winner, which is actual lunacy when only 15 people on the planet have achieved single EGOT status. Now we just have to get Kristen an Emmy and a Tony. But don't count out the woman who is looking to become an EGOT winner herself, Miss Cynthia Erivo, who is a co-writer of the song Stand Up in Harriet. And this list of potential nominees is actually wonderful. Can you imagine in one night getting performances from Idina Menzel, Elton John, Cynthia Erivo, Taylor Swift, with Andrew Lloyd Webber on piano, who is also an EGOT winner, and Beyoncé. What a perfect night it would be. Next in line in order are The Ballad of the Lonesome Cowboy, Toy Story 4, Speechless, Aladdin, Sundown, Western Stars, I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away, Toy Story 4, One Little Soldier, Bombshell. The big snub that should make it, Collide, Queen and Slim, which I now have memorized. International feature film. This is going to Parasite, and there's honestly no point in talking too much about it. It's gonna win with ease, possibly with more ease than Roma did last year. Next in line in order are And Then We Danced, The Painted Bird, Out Stealing Horses, Manos, Vida, and Visivel. The big snub that should make it. I don't have any, because Parasite. Those are my predictions for the 92nd Academy Awards November edition. Let me know what you have predicted in the comments. Agree, disagree, let me know. And so, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe to this channel, as well as follow me on Twitter and Instagram at mjoseph492. Like my page on Facebook, which is facebook.com/MaxJosephFilmPerson. And if you really love me, please consider being a patron on Patreon, where you can get patron-only content, guest interviews, giveaways, and lots more. You can even give me a film to review or a song to cover from your favorite film, and that video will be dedicated to you. Shalom, my friends.